Sawadee-ka. Hello everyone. We are back with our last episode of Talk with Good Health and Wellbeing series. My name is Wadi Hong from the Faculty of Engineering. I am an International Junior Coordinator from the MUSAIS team and I will be the moderator for today. So this episode is super special because we are about to take everyone to the world of zero waste in the green generation by refill station. But before we head into the talk, I have a quick question for all of you. Do you know how much single-use plastic waste do we produce every day? Well, if that question somehow gives you a bit of struggle to answer, then let us help you find a better way of change in this episode. Because now I am with our guest speaker, one of the pioneers who started the first refill shop in Thailand, and she will be speaking on what refill station is and how it benefits the well-being of ours and our environment. So please welcome Dr. Ann Supachaya Techa Chucher. Sawadee-ka. Sawadee-ka, Dr. Ann. So we are glad to have you with us today, and as well as we are so much curious about your shop. So you are the owner of the refill station, which is called Better Moon Cafe X Refill Station, the first refill shop in Thailand, and it's probably the first one in Southeast Asia. So can you please give a brief explanation of what your refill station is?
So basically, refill station is a bulk store where you can buy a liquid detergents without containers. So you have to bring your own container to fill stuff like shampoo, laundry detergents, liquid softeners, or some food, nut, macadamias, almond, for example. And we also sell several reusable items like foldable lunchbox, water bottles, or even menstrual cups.
So that's how it works in your refill station. So it sounds to me very environmental friendly because you said that your customers have to bring their own packages or bottles to get the products that they want. So how long has the shop been open?
So we opened since late 2017. So up to this year is about like 3 years and a half.
Okay, that's quite some time now. So I wonder, like, it's been quite some time since you opened this shop. I wonder, was this kind of environmental friendly shop or business that you started was popular back then when you first started the shop? Was this kind of idea popular, or was it newly adopted from somewhere?
At the very beginning, it's very difficult to communicate to people. Like even some people say, why we not change the manufacturers or why we not change the government or policy? But we think like we need a little change from many people. So like me, I can run a shop. As my customer, they can reduce their own containers by bring one to refill. So I think everyone have a contributions on environmental problems.
Wow, that's so cool. I mean, I appreciate that you want everyone to be a part in this, not in a bigger, we don't need a bigger attention. We just make everyone around us realize that, we can be a part of this contribution. Well, let me go to the next question. So I've heard this from one of your interview videos. You call your refill station ร้านไม่สะดวกซื้อ which means inconvenience store. So how come you name it inconvenience store?
It's funny way it's controversial with the convenience store because everyone love to go to like the convenience shop, right? And it's totally mean it like it's really inconvenient. You have to wash the bottle, dry it, bring it over to refills, and then you carry it back. So it's I think some convenience we made a lot of waste according to these words like food deliveries or something like single-use plastic or throwaways is all caused by the words that convenience. I needed convenience. So it's time to be a little bit more inconvenient and save the world.
And by saying that we maybe we need to give ourselves a little convenience, what would we see as the impact of us being a little inconvenient by bringing our own bottles and packages to reduce the consumption? Like what would be the impact that we see out of that? Maybe to the impact on the environment or on ourselves.
So basically we measure the numbers of bottles that we have been reduced by the numbers of bottles that people bring to refills. So over 3 years we have been reduced about like 3 to 4,000 bottles now. It's actually is very little numbers comparing with like the throwaway plastic or comparing with a big company that have been doing or change. But this is the thing that everyone like can be part of. Moreover, every time when people come to refills, they always like film themselves, take a photographs, post on like their social medias and tell more story about the problems and why they come to here to our shop to refills. I think the message is more stronger and this is rise awareness of the people in the communities. We found like many people that want to do a refill station too. So up to now we have more than 10 refill station in Bangkok and about like 20 refill shop in total Thailand. So we see the change like a little bit in progress.
So you kind of inspired others because you're the first refill shop in Thailand. So you kind of inspired others to start their own environmental friendly business. What were your advice when you give to them who wanted to start their own environmental friendly business to help in this contribution to the world?
We give them like two sides of the business. First one is like is business, so they have to think about like revenues or customers experience and stuff. And on other side there's about like environmental problems. There are good-minded people who want to run this business, so they have to balance these two things. Most of the times I always met the people like, okay, I want to save the world, I don't need the profit, I can do it all over. But whenever but I think this is not quite sustained if they cannot sustain themselves. So we will like try to we discuss a lot like what they think about running a business and whether their abilities to do it by themselves. And we also supply some products so they can like easy beginning with this business.
Wow, okay, that's so cool. Well, earlier you said that your products at the shop have you have shampoo, you have conditioner, you have many kinds of nuts. So what else could be the products? Maybe if I want to go in and I'm looking for something else rather than like shampoo or the nuts, what else can I buy at your shop?
So apart from the liquid detergents, you can find many like alternative product, I would say. Like some are disposable and some are reusable. For example, you can find a bamboo toothbrush. Like a toothbrush is not recyclable because it's contain a lot of plastic, a lot of different plastic part like bristles or handles or even the brand themselves. But if you use like bamboo toothbrush, it's all like degradable. Or you can just small change like bamboo cotton bud, because like the stem of the general cotton bud is made from plastic. After you dispose it, it's becoming waste, and we're not much aware of it because it's very small pieces. But the most dangerous plastic is the small pieces because people not collect it, and it's very easy to leak into the ocean.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I totally get it. And what is like from the products you have on the shelves? What is the one bestseller that customers are looking for? Like, if maybe I want to start living my life into like a zero waste direction, what would be your suggestions for me to start with what kind of product?
We actually we sell a bunch of products, but I myself I use only like 3 items. So first one is water bottles I carry with me all the times. Second one is the silicone food bag. Silicone food bag is like it's more convenient than lunchbox. Like it's foldable and very small. It's very tiny. And the third one is cutlery, like fork, spoon, and chopstick in a box. So it's all fit and I good with all food that I like. You know, Thailand is street food everywhere and we enjoy like eating this and that. So I kind of have these all item in my bag all the time.
Oh, wow. I actually do carry my own bottles as well. And sometimes I also bring my own lunchbox because I like my mom's cook. So I would carry it from home. Yeah,
Great.
like pinto.
Pinto. Oh, you got that big.
So I usually bring it with me as well. Well, so comes the next question. I wonder, like, what is the most surprising container that you've seen your customer brought into your shop? This is just out of my curiosity.
It's not that surprising, but it's very cute. Like I got a guy, like very big guy, got 10 colors, carrying a basket of like bamboo basket with the Hell's Blue Boy glass bottles to refills. So that's very, very, very cute. Like he like filled up many items, and then the basket itself is got a hole that can handle like 6 bottles in pieces.
Okay, so that's what impresses you, right? That's what makes you feel
right
about your customers so much. Okay.
Well, yeah, because like most of the customer is ladies. Like the ladies are the ones who bought things at home. And generally like the guys like I can use whatever my wife buy it. So that's kind of surprise with the customer himself and the containers.
Okay, cool. Well, you have many products. Well, as I've listened, you have many products to sell to the customers. So what are the special, have you ever received like special requests from your customers of what else would they want to see in your shop?
Many. Like since we began the shop, everyone like requests more and more because everyone use different products though, and we are very selective because it refills. So we have to concern about like the shelf life of the products, the qualities of the products, the colors, and the safety of the products. If like people fill in water bottles and they will not drink it. So recently we have sunscreen from Relief that people are keep asking like I want the to refill my sunscreen because sometimes you use very little and you throw away the rest of the bottles.
Oh, okay. So that is your new product available now. Okay.
Right.
So, as you said, like running this shop, people would have questions about how long would the products last, or are the products similar in quality as the other commercial ones, or where do you guys get the products from? Like, how would you answer those questions?
So we beginning select our products from a local farmer market. So we want to support local business, and local business can make a very quick decision whether they want to join a Bao store or not. Unlike a big brand that they have to like go through a whole process, a lot of process to get in onto the shelf. So we now have Pangan Green brand, Hak Organics, Conscious Living, Khao Kho Thale Phu, and Baiwan. Yeah, and just we weave sunscreens and Pranakon non-lin. So they are very like kind and very eco-friendly people. These people also aware of like environmental problem, and they want to be a part of solution. So they supply us in a big gallons of detergent after we fill it. So we wash and dry it and we send them back. So we kind of exchange when they drop us new bottles, and they take the old bottles, empty bottle back to refill. So there is no waste in the system.
Oh, wow. Okay. So how does that make you feel that you see other people who have the same will of protecting your environment as you? How would that make you feel? Like you see the farmers and also your customers who support you.
I feel very happy and like feel motivated all the times. Like first, before we having a shop or when we have a small tables, everyone's keep asking like, what are you doing? And the thing that you're doing very crazy. No one gonna buy it. People love convenience. Or even my dad even said like, you study PhD and why you becoming a seller? So after I met a lot more people, my customer and the partner, my friends who also run the business with me, is very inspiring and motivated to be like, we can do more, we can make change, and we can inspire more people to do so. So I'm very happy about my decision.
Oh, okay. And you said something about your PhD. So I want to talk about that a little bit as well. So you got a PhD from biology faculty, from science biology department, correct? From Mahidol University. How does that help you in having this environmental friendly shop, and like how would that help you?
So at first place is totally different from what I learned and my business. Like we gotta deal with like numbers, a lot of numbers, selling, marketings, accountings, which is a lot of new things to me. But the good things of science, study of science is we understand deeply about the environmental problems. We know cause and effect. We know how things related to each other. We know how a single straw could affect the totals in the sea. Moreover, the other thing that helped me a lot is about the alien words of the chemical behind the bottles. Like as I'm very selective on the products, I have to read a lot of the chemical stuff, and it's helped me understand more like what kind of chemical that's good, what kind of chemical that's toxic to the environment. So we not only reduce the plastic waste, but we concerned about the chemical contamination in the environment too.
Okay, so you basically have screened all the products yourself before providing it to your customers, correct?
Right.
Okay, so I think now we kind of have an idea of like us reducing single-use plastic products, we are protecting the environment. But maybe regarding other perspectives, like how does refilling and reusing our own packages or our own bottles benefit us as the consumers? Like, is it cheaper compared to the products that come in regular containers?
Yeah, so we try to keep it cheaper with the same brand of the retailers. So we have the organics, let's say dishwasher. So you cannot compare the organic dishwasher with sunlight. So that's the cheapest thing in the market though. So, but if you compare the same level of the products, we have about like 10% cheaper. And moreover, people can like fill as much as they want. They don't need to buy a whole bottles. And some ladies want to change the shampoos very often, so they can like try a little bit of this and that first before they buy a whole bottles.
Okay, yeah, I see. Well, maybe during this time of pandemic, your shop is still open, but maybe like the customers may not be able to go out to like cafes or places. So what would be your suggestions for everyone who's watching right now and wants to start living this zero waste life at home?
I see a lot of people now that they work from home, they start doing waste segregation. And they do it very well. People try to organize their home, try to organize stuff, and if you cannot avoid the plastic, for me myself, the plastic is not a devil. So it's very useful, it's very convenient, lightweight, do labels. But the thing that makes it evil because of our behaviors. We use it, single use it. We use it that's just about like 10 to 20 minutes and then we throw it away and it live on this planet for about 450 years. So will not be such a thing that create to be lived that long. So for plastic itself can be recycled. So every time you like finish your delivery food, you like wash it, separate it and send it to recycle. Some that cannot be recycled, you can collect it and send it to be RDF or burn to be a fuel. Yeah, and also you can reduce waste by like carry your like cloth bag or water bottles or lunchbox. For a big brand that not accept the water bottles, you can still like use in like small branches, buy locally, buy stuff local. And nowadays I still like have my lunchbox buying food from the market near my house. That's still a valuable option for you.
Okay, so what you need to change, basically, it's not the product, it's not totally about the products, but you need to change your behavior, right?
Right.
Okay.
And one thing is the mindset about how you questioning things. Like for example, like bubble tea. People always wonder like, how can I drink bubble tea without straw? I must use the straw because I cannot drink bubble tea. But
well, let me say I actually have that problems as well because my straw is super thin. So when I want to drink the bubble milk tea, I can't get the bubbles in if I use my straw. So I would have made that I also use the plastic straws as well. So do you have any suggestions for me?
Yeah, so you have to like change the question like, how can I drink a bubble tea without using a straw? So you will think differently. And can you give me like some example if you want to have a bubble without a straw?
Yes, I want to eat the bubbles without a straw. I would maybe use like a spoon, I guess.
Yeah, see, you can use spoon.
Okay, so I would have to carry my little spoon around for my bubble tea, right?
Right. Right. Some people did that and some people like pour it out on the a little bowl at home, like they eat the sweet things,
Ah,
like they have เฉาก๊วย or สาคู
well, yeah, that sounds fun. Well, I mean, I should try that. I would definitely try that today. Because I'm thinking of getting the buttermilk tea, so I would totally try that today. And let me ask you, please let me ask you this. What was your inspiration to start this shop?
Oh, okay. Like, so firstly, I would say like I'm a environmentalist. So when I was in high school, I went to a lot of environmental camp and I'm very kind of keen of the stuff. I try to use zero waste, like totally zero waste, very green in my life during my university life. I have like one bottles and I fill the waters. And if I finish that bottles, I will not buy a single bottle at all. So I would say like, okay, I can wait a bit longer until I have a water sometimes. So I will not create waste. I have my own chopstick and I always blame other people who use styrofoam. And I cycling to the university, not Salaya, but in Payatai. So it's like much closer to my house. So at that time, people tell me like, you are crazy. So not everyone following theirs point at me and I'm weird. So later on, I kind of reduce my green color so people can follow. So I compromise with myself and my families too. And as I remember, I watched a TED talk of Lauren Zinger, the girls who became a zero waster, and she showed me a little jar. Like, this is my trash or my trash of the years. And it's very tiny, you know, and most of people will like wonder like, oh, wow, that's amazing. But I'm a scientist. I always like question other things like, oh, whether she fake, how she did that. And like, even my shampoo bottle's gonna like fit gonna bigger than her jar and how this could happen. So I follow her. I read more articles about her and I found out like, oh, in her country, there is a bowl store where people can bring the old bottles to fill shampoo. And at that time, I Googled there is not such a thing in Thailand. So I talk with two other friends, which is Claire and Amon. So we discuss like, oh, if there is no option in Thailand, why we not create one? And from that, we become a refill station today.
Okay, so as we went to your shop, we saw the happy place section and also the waste segregation. So can you please explain a bit about those two sections?
Okay, so the happy plate is we allows the customer to take a plate outside because our shop located in a market where is a lot of street food and delicious food there, and we want to support a local seller. So the customer can bring a plate, buying stuff from outside and eat in our cafe without creating waste. Otherwise, they're gonna buy a lot of like bring in a lot of plastic and styrofoam inside. So, and I would love to encourage other shop that to do so. So the section next to the happy place is a waste segregation. We try to demonstrate our customer how to do waste segregation at home at a very easy way. And for example, like the water bottle cup, we collect it and send to the precious plastic. They will melt all these cup and recreate in a two bowl or the plant pot. So you can see like the waste that people not longer use can be like recreate or upcycle to many products.
Well, not only that we have Dr. Ann in the talk with us today, but for a better picture of what refill station looks like, we also made a visit to your shop. So Better Moon Cafe X refill station. So let's check it out. Okay, so here comes your last question. So can you please give one last message to the audience who's watching right now?
Okay, I have a models of Jane Goodall's, one of the researcher that I love. She said that above all, we must realize that each of us make a difference with our life, and each of us impact the world around us in every single days. So you must realize that you are part of the world. If you not create a solution, it means you are creating pollution now. So you are the one who decide and not just think that the thing that you do are very little things, or not just think it's a single piece of plastic, because every matter count, whether it's good or bad.
Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Ann. And for the audience who's watching right now, please let me go back to the very first question I threw out there for all of you, which was, how much single-use plastic waste do you produce every day? Well, maybe it was plastic containers or plastic bottles or cups. And your answer to that question, you don't need to tell me, but think about it and think about our MU community with tens of thousands of people living here and working here. And if each one of us throws away the same amount of bottles as you do, that's how many bottles that add up into waste and finally go up into the landfill. So I think now that we know we are surrounded by eco-friendly alternative ways, for example, your refill station that everyone can be a part in, refilling and reusing their own packages and not producing more plastic waste. I think it is time for all of us to make a change now. We need to move the convenience aside and do the right thing to protect our environment and protect ourselves as well. So I think that is all the time we have for today. So on behalf of MUSAIS team and Mahidol University, I would like to say thank you so much, Dr. Ann, for being with us today and for having us at your shop and for creating this wonderful opportunity called Refill Station for everyone to be a part in protecting their own environment. ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you ค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ
And also thank you everyone, all the audience who's watching right now and who has always been keeping up with us until the last episode. If you want to see more entertaining activities like this, please do follow us on our Facebook page, OP Intern Mahidol. And last but not least, please stay healthy and stay positive, and we'll see you again in the next coming activities. ขอบคุณค่ะ